Hey, good evening. It's Roy Shenneman with Tier 1 Coaching and Training coming at you tonight just to talk about what's on my mind. Tonight, the message I have for you and what I hope is a source of encouragement and challenge for you and for me as I reflect on the role of vision in my life, the role of vision in your life. For example, the question that we start off tonight is, what is your vision for your future? What is the vision you have for your family? What is the vision you have for the department you work for at work? What is the vision you have for your company, for your marriage, for your church, for whatever organization, whatever group of people you might be a part of? What is your vision? And you say, well, I'm not the leader. So, what does it matter? Well, I'm here to tell you right now, it matters a lot. It matters a whole bunch because each of us have an opportunity to lead in different organizations, in different relationships, in families. All of us are leaders to somebody, even if it's just leading to ourselves. But we have this opportunity to be a leader. So what is your vision? What is your vision right now as you think about this thing? The writer of Proverbs said this. He said that without vision, the people perish. Now, I don't want to get into the exact specifics of the biblical citation there, but what I do want to talk about is, what does that mean on a practical level? If you don't have a vision for your future, how are you ever going to know if you get there? How are you ever going to know if you're going to achieve your goal? How are you ever going to know if you are making progress? Without a vision, you die. I die. It's how it works. And that may not be a physical death, but that can be at an emotional level or at an intellectual level or at a social level as we're thinking about interacting with other people, our family members, our coworkers, our fellow students, if we happen to be students, whatever the situation might be. It's interesting that anybody who knows me knows that I grew up in Northwest Indiana. And so I grew up as a huge Notre Dame fan. I bleed blue and gold. It is what it is. I didn't go to school there, but I grew up about 30 miles from there, and I just love everything there is to know about that. So one of the former presidents of the university, Father Theodore Hesburgh, once said this. He said, the very essence of leadership is that you have to have vision. It's got to be a vision you articulate clearly and forcefully on every occasion. Kouzes and Posner, two of my favorite writers in the leadership world and researchers said this: there's nothing more demoralizing than a leader who can't clearly articulate why we're doing what we're doing. And I think about that. I think about that at work. How often people get frustrated when their boss, when their supervisor, when their manager just tells them to go do a job, but they really have no idea why they're doing that job. They don't understand why they're doing it, how it fits in, how their role can play a major part in achieving the overall corporate objective. Now think about your family. If you're just telling your kids to go do something, but you're not explaining kind of why this works, how this is helpful for them, how this is going to help their future as they're building discipline, building the ability to relate with others, whatever the case might be. If you don't take the time to share why this is important, this seemingly minuscule opportunity, what does this have to do with anything? That's sharing a vision. That's having a vision. What do you want to do? So here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how you develop your vision. I'm going to tell you two things. Your vision needs to be bifocal. Now, years ago, I actually had LASIK surgery so that I could see better. But prior to that, I actually was evolving into the point of having blurry vision. So the doctor prescribed at one point bifocals. And if those of you who have bifocals or even have bifocal contacts, I'm sorry, the word escaped me there, know that it's interesting that the bifocals help you see in different ways. And as you kind of look up and whatever, you can see it much larger in the bottom usually. And it really helps you kind of see, right? It cleared things up. It was amazing. Well, in vision, I want you to think about it the same way. You need to have a vision that is internal. What is it you want for yourself? What is it you're hoping to accomplish here? How do you want to grow? Do you want to? Are you comfortable with where you are? And I don't mean necessarily you can apply this financially, you can apply this academically, you can apply this spiritually, you can apply this in so many areas of your life. But as you break down each of those areas, what do you want to do? How do you want this to be? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now, one of my favorite interview questions when at work when people are trying to apply for different jobs, and I'm in the context of an interview. I said, "So where do you see yourself 5 years from now? How about 10 years? Have you thought about it? What do you want to do?" And so it's a matter of having that idea. What do I want to accomplish for myself, within myself? How about in the spiritual realm? What do you want to do? How about in the socially? What do you want to do? Where do you want to see yourself right now? What's your vision for the future? And right now, if you're maybe saying, well, I don't really have one. I'm just kind of getting by day and doing my job, get up in the morning, do it again. And to some degree, that's okay. And that's understandable. But, how much more rich will that experience be if you actually feel like you're achieving something? If you actually feel like you're moving towards the accomplishment of goals in your life, of accomplishing that vision. So you need to spend some time working on the internal aspect of it. Externally, what are you trying to accomplish socially? What are you trying to accomplish within your organization that you're a part of? Now you might think, well, I'm not the manager. I'm not the general manager. I'm not the CEO. I don't have any kind of C after my name. My role, I come in, I do my job, I go home. I come up the next day, I do it again, and I just do whatever the boss tells me to do. I understand that, and I get it. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. But let me say this. What would happen if you had a vision of becoming the very best you could at what you do? What would happen if you had a vision of learning everything there is to learn about your particular job and jobs that are around you, that coworkers have? What would happen if all that would go on? How would that be? So, it's interesting. Jack Welch, guy I actually had the privilege of meeting some time ago in a training episode, said this. He said, leaders create vision, they articulate vision, they passionately own that vision, and they relentlessly pursue it. What are you relentlessly pursuing right now in your life? What are you relentlessly pursuing in your career? What are you relentlessly pursuing in your spiritual, social, emotional life? That's a good question. That's a powerful question. Here's the thing. Your vision has to be personal. You've got to own it. It needs to be yours. It doesn't matter what my vision is for you. And I might have one if I know you. Know you well enough, I probably have one for you. I have visions for my kids. I got two wonderful kids, two boys that are doing fantastic things in their lives. And I'm very proud of them. And I have visions for them. But let me tell you something. It really doesn't matter what my vision is. While that could be impact them and hopefully promote them in some way, encourage them in some way to achieve their own vision, what matters is what is their vision? What do they want to see? What is their vision for their career? What is their vision for their future marriages? What is their vision for the families they hopefully one day will raise? What is their vision for the society in which they're a part? What role do they want to play? How do they want to see themselves in the future? I'm here to encourage that. I'm here to challenge that. I'm here to question that at times, to help them think it through. But at the end of the day, it's their vision. And that's true for me as well. I need to have my vision. What is my vision right now? When you own it, when you own your vision, you're much more likely to complete it. There's nothing worse than going in with a relationship with your boss, a meeting with your boss. Maybe it's a staff meeting where you got a bunch of other managers sitting around a table, a bunch of other supervisors, a bunch of other people in like positions similar to yours. And your boss comes in and lays out this vision and says, okay, go for it. But he does nothing or she does nothing to help you own that vision, to help you feel like you're a part of that vision. I used to work for an organization here in town. I was there for 6 years. And in that 6 years, I really owned what we were doing. I loved it. Everything about that organization, it was always we. Every time we did something, it was we. Even if it was something that had nothing to do with my department, but it was something that I felt like I was a part of. And I felt like I really, really loved it. And, after I left that organization and came to work for the organization I work for now, it took me about 10 years before I stopped saying we when I thought about the other organization. Now it's all about we in the context of the current organization I'm working with. And what are we doing? And what are we doing with our families? So when you own your vision, when you own your personal vision for your own development, you're much more likely to actually accomplish that. So how do you develop your vision? Well, first thing, you need to observe. You got to observe what's going on. Observe what's going on in your own life. Be honest about it. What are you doing well? What are you doing not so well? What distracts you? All of us have things that distract us on occasion. That's kind of life. Life hits us at times, and we have issues going on with our family. We have issues with our health. We have issues, it's a greater society right now. different things that are going on that all can be a distraction. But what are those things? Observe those things for yourself. What are things that you look at, you say, man, if I could just do one thing, I would like to do this. I would love to grow in this area. What is that? Write it down. Think about it. You need to spend some time once you've observed something about your situation, whether it's at work, whether it's at home, at church, whatever the situation is for you. Once you've observed those things, start thinking about, spend some time reflecting on it. Okay, what could we do? What could I do differently? Maybe one area that I could grow in, what would that be? Maybe my goal for this year is to do X as opposed to doing Y in my life, whatever it might be. The other thing you need to do is don't be afraid to go big. You know, what often happens is we have this dream and we think, oh, what I want to do is I want to change the world. And that's great. And by all means, go for it. We need people who want to change the world. All of us should be trying to do that and improve the situation, the world that we're in every single day. But here's the thing. Don't be afraid to dream big. Because I'm telling you, you may shoot for the moon, so to speak, and you may not get it, but you might get to the mountaintop. And that's a heck of a lot better than where you are right now in whatever area your vision carried you. So make sure that you're doing this. There's interesting concept. When I was practicing as a therapist, and I was doing some training one time, and a situation came up where the trainer made a statement that always impacted me, and it said this. He said, "Do you realize that in the Native American communities, actually, there's 500 of them in the United States, but in these communities, there's this common belief among the Native Americans that says this: if you can name the spirit, you can control the spirit." Now, what does that mean in practical life? I'm not necessarily talking about spiritism here or anything like that, but what I'm talking about is if you can name your goal, you can control that goal. At least control your effort towards achieving that goal. If you can name your vision, if you can clearly articulate your vision, you can control your effort towards achieving that vision. That's awesome. That's powerful. That gives you everything you need to do. And as you state it, you talk about your dream. You know, what is your dream? What do you dream about? What do you think about? What fires you up when you think, man, if I could do anything, this is what I would do? What are those things, and how do they work with you? Write it down. Once you've got your dream kind of articulated, you have it may be just a phrase, it may be a sentence, maybe a short paragraph, it may be a letter that you write to yourself, your future self. Who knows? But we'll post it somewhere. Put it on your computer. Put it in a notebook. Put it someplace where you're going to see it all the time, where it's going to remind you on a regular basis what the goal is here. Because life happens. We get distracted. Things hit us at work that come out of left field sometimes. Things hit us in the family that comes out of left field. Health issues, financial issues, different kinds of social issues that hit us. And it can distract us and pull us away a little bit. If we're not careful, we're chasing something that's not part of our dream, not part of our personal vision. So write it down. So something that can remind you. Secondly, communicate this vision to other people. There's a few reasons why you should do that. Number one, for accountability. Your spouse should know what your vision is. And if you haven't talked about that, maybe sit down together and say, what is our vision for our marriage? What is our vision for our kids? What is our vision for the next stage in our relationship? Whatever that might be. Start talking about these things. Get these things down. Write them down. Hold each other accountable just by talking about it. Now, sometimes that can be difficult, but the thing is, it's worth it. I'm here to tell you it's worth it, and I'm going to tell you need to do it. I encourage you to do that for accountability. The other reason you want to do it is because it builds some excitement, because other people get excited about you having a vision. Wow. Because that may challenge them to do the same thing for themselves. How powerful is that? How powerful is you? If you are a leader right now in an organization, how powerful would it be if you walked in tomorrow and you said, here's my vision for what I'm accomplishing in my life? And you would say that to the people that answer to you at work. How powerful would that be of an example for them perhaps to do that in their lives? And then what would be the ripple effect throughout your organization, throughout your community, throughout the people, your sphere of influence? It's amazing what can happen here if you were to do this. So you want to make sure you clarify it. I would encourage you to even think about it, making it a little slogan for yourself, something that means something to you. For example, when I was thinking about this, talking about this tonight, a lot of old commercials popped into my head. Remember some of those old commercials like Remember Burger King used to have this thing where they sang this song and said, "Have it your way" at Burger King. Remember that? How about this? Remember Wendy's had this commercial that said, "Where's the beef?" We talk about those things. Here's the thing. Texas even has this slogan, so to speak, that goes way back to our independence, where a picture of a cannon that says, "Come and take it." Talking about the defiance of the Texans of the day as related to independence from Mexico. But here's the thing. What is it that is going to help keep you on task? Is it some silly little slogan? Is it perhaps it's just a sentence? It doesn't really matter what it is for you. Make it personal, but it has to be something that you're going to remember and something you can articulate quickly. So if anybody asks you at any time, you say, "You know what? Here's my vision. I want to do X, Y, and Z. By when?" So it's okay to have a vision that says, "I want to change the world," but give yourself a deadline. What's your vision? What's your intermediate step? I want to do this X, Y, and Z by December 31st, 2018. And then guess what? When that happens, you reset that dial and you keep moving, going forward. Keep it simple, make it memorable, help others buy into your vision by sharing it with them and help them to make it their own, and just apply it no matter where you are. Apply it at work, apply it at home, apply it at church, apply it with your marriage, with your kids, with your neighbor's kids, whatever. Just apply this vision, make it real, a part of who you are internally. And whatever you do, don't ever, ever give up. I'm related. I'm remembering now as several years ago, gosh, it may be 15 years ago now, Jim Valvano used to be the head coach at North Carolina State, had cancer. And he gave a very powerful speech. You've probably seen the commercial. If you've watched ESPN at all, you know that they have the V Foundation and the whole thing where they raise money for cancer research. But anyway, one of his most powerful speeches, a big snippet of it, says, "Whatever you do, don't ever, ever give up. Don't ever give up." And I'm going to tell you right now, hold on to your vision. Don't give up. Just because things get difficult, keep pushing forward. Take one step. I teach on the side here, I teach in a doctoral program at Our Lady of Lick University. And when I'm talking to my doctoral students, I talk a lot about their dissertations. And they're all terrified about this monster called a dissertation. And they're all just freaking out about what to do. How do they stay on task? It just seems like this overwhelming task. And so what do I tell them? This is my message to them every time. I said, whatever you do, touch that document every single day. I don't care if you just review one sentence, you write one paragraph, you review one more article, one more book, whatever it is that's going to be in your lit review. Whatever you need to do every day, something. I don't care if it's you only had 5 minutes today, if you have 5 hours tomorrow. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that you do this every single day. Same thing with your vision. You cast that vision out there, and what are you doing every day, no matter how brief you think it is, how insignificant you think it is, what are you doing every day to achieve that, to work towards it? This is convicting. So make sure you're acting on your vision and be courageous. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of how big you think it is. Don't be afraid of how tough it might be on occasion, because it's going to be. It's life. Life happens, and sometimes it makes it tough, but that's okay. That doesn't mean it's over. Never give up. Keep pushing every single day. Well, that's tonight. This is Roy Shannon from Tier 1 Coaching and Training. And if I can be of any assistance to you, please, I'd love to hear from you. Love to see how I can help you and your organization achieve their goals. And I'm here to tell you, without vision, you're not going to go anywhere. So unless you really like what's going on, exactly how it's going on today, you need to develop a vision. How are you going to get tomorrow? Where are you going to be? What are you going to do? Anyway, this is, again, Roy Shenneman, Dr. Roy Shenneman with Tier 1 Coaching and Training. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a great time. Be encouraged. Have a vision. Share it, own it, live it. Take care. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.